And so that's about our statistics in 2022 about, and now we started our presentation. Today, Victoria Harutyunyan from SarVia Tech, she will present presentation about BOM management in SolidWorks. Victoria, you can start.
Thank you. Please let me to share my screen.
Just a second.
So hi everyone, I'm Victoria. Today I'm going to talk about bill of materials or simply.
Oh, sorry. Victoria.
A bit about myself. So I'm a mechanical design engineer at SarVia Tech. I'm also a student at the American University of Armenia. I'm doing my engineering sciences. I have almost 2 years experience with SolidWorks. I have successfully passed mechanical design, sheet metal, and drawing tools certification examinations. I also have an experience as an internship development leader. So what we're going to talk about
today.
Sorry,
Victoria, can you share your screen? Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about today what is BOM and how to create one in SolidWorks. Also, we're going to talk about creating BOM for weldments and how to link BOM to custom properties and how to place balloons to isometric and exploded views. So first of all, what is a bill of materials? Bill of materials is an extensive list of raw materials, components, quantities of each needed, and the is required to construct, manufacture, or repair a product. Very important to have an accurate bill of materials because it ensures that all the parts are available, ensuring that the assembly process is as efficient as possible. So now let's watch a small demo to understand how to create a bill of. Okay, so here we have an assembly. First of all, in assemblies, we can add or delete some parts, and we want to make sure that our BOM automatically updates. Properties, tables, choose bill of materials, and make sure that this automatic. So here in SolidWorks, SolidWorks has its standard templates for bill of materials. Choose any view from the drawing, and here we can see that we have a BOM standard bill of materials template. Also attached to anchor point if we want, it will be fixed, but we can leave it as it is. So standard bill of materials table that SolidWorks offers us has these columns: number, part number, We're free to add any column we wish by right-clicking this above the column and choosing insert. We can, I'm sorry. We can insert column right or column left as we wish. And from here, we can choose what type of column we want to add. It can be custom property, it can be unit of measure, equation, item number, part number, component reference, or toolbox property. For example, custom property, and it allows to choose. We want to show thin standards of our parts. We can show whatever we want with this. So now let's talk about some types of bill of materials. When we insert, there are several ways that we can choose from how we want our parts and sub-assemblies to be shown in the bill of materials table. So this bill of materials table that we have here, it is shown that it is top level only type. So in top level only, it shows the parts and sub-assemblies, but it doesn't include the parts that are under these sub-assemblies. And clicking this arrow on the and which is sub-assembly or tool. By choosing top level only type bill of materials, we can see all the parts and sub-assemblies, but we don't see any components that are present in those sub-assemblies. Bill of material tables gives an overview of what parts and components are used. On the other hand, yes, see that we have both parts and we have sub-assemblies. On the other hand, we can choose parts only type bill of material. We can see from here only the parts, and it shows all the part files available in the assembly. It doesn't show the parts from different levels. It also shows the parts that are present in sub-assemblies. And we also here have indented type of bill of materials. Other two, it shows everything. It shows both sub-assemblies and present in those sub-assemblies. Parts and sub-assemblies. We can what numbering we wish. You can be detailed numbering or it can be flat numbering. Cut list. Pay attention to this part when I click on part list button. So detailed part list, when we do not click the button, it shows the components and the total length of the components for the weldment parts. But when we click that button, it shows the separate components and it's cutting, and their quantities of each of these separate components. And we can choose configurations. Part configuration grouping just shows how we want to represent parts in different. So change the increment. We have here 1, so that is why we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Increment. For now, and let's talk about a little bit about linking BOM to custom properties, and also important things like exclude or promote from BOM. Let's watch a small demo again. For example, when we have a table, for example, both sub-assemblies and parts in this bill of materials. We might not want to add all the sub-assemblies that are present in our bill. We, for example, might want only one sub-assembly and only the components of that particular sub-assembly to be shown. That is why here you can see that we are using top all the sub-assemblies and but for example, when we choose again top level only, for example, some particular assembly and extend it. So we need to click this arrow from the left to see this. And we should right click on the sub-assembly we want to extend, component options, and it says that we can restore it later in the BOM. Okay. Assembly is extended and we can easily from the feature manager tree, we can find that sub-assembly, right click and restore it in the bill of materials table. Here's at the bottom of the bill of materials. So in the same way, we might put some of the parts from our bill of then easily exclude them. We can right click to the part. We can choose exclude from BOM. So it says that we can restore it later. We click OK and it excludes. And from the feature manager tree, including BOM, and here at the bottom of the bill of materials table. Linking to custom properties. So as I have already shown, when we are creating a column or even when we have all those columns, they are linked to custom properties. But sometimes, for some reasons, we might have or mistakes or some, I don't know, bugs. And for some reasons, the cells can be like empty. They won't understand that when we want to separately link, for example, one custom property, we can do with PowerPoint.
You finished, Victoria?
No, it's just a technical issue with myself.
Okay.
My PowerPoint, yeah. I will reconnect right now. You see my screen now? I can continue. Custom properties, as I've already mentioned. We can double click to any cell we want. Double click to any cell we want. But it says that this cell has already linked to we can either break the link or keep it. We can go to here, choose link to custom property. And from here, we have several options to choose. Model found here. component, we have access to file property. And from property name, we can already choose what we want this cell to represent. For example, SOLIDWORKS file name. We click OK, and we see that this cell is. So now let's talk about creating bill of materials for weldments and between bill of materials and weldment cut list tables. And also we're going to talk about how to place balloons to assemblies, and how to make them compact and tight. Here we can see that we have another assembly. It is a weldment assembly. We want to insert a weldment cut list instead of bill of materials table. This is easily accessible again from the tables. Weldment cut list, choose any view from the drawing and generate a cut list. Here we can see that our columns are different a little bit. We have item number, we have description and length. However, we again are free to add any column we wish, and by doing the same. Let's place balloons. We can choose balloons and start to place balloons at. We place balloons at the same component. It writes the same number there. In case we have, for example, big assembly, many balloons, and we want our balloons. For that, we can use this magnet. And using this magnetic line, we can add all the balloons together and make them. So it is very important when we have assembly. Sometimes in our drawings, we might have different bill of materials, or we might have inserted some other bill of materials table, but we want this, for example, this. And we want these balloons to represent. For that reason, we right-click to the view, go to properties, and from the properties, we click this button table, and we can choose from here if we have different bill of material tables or weldment cut lists. We can choose any one from them that we want our balloons to be. This is very important because sometimes when we forget to do this, they might be present completely different. So we make sure this isn't properly. And then, yes, we click OK. Yes, so I guess this was it. Thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, if we don't have questions, we can continue. This is the end of our meeting, and our next meeting, I hope, we'll host in person in May, and before it, I will share information in meetup.com or in LinkedIn, and that's it. If anyone has a question, can ask. If no, so we can finish today. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and thank you, Victoria, for a very interesting presentation.
Thank you too.
Welcome, Theodore. Thank you for joining. Okay, bye.